In this video, I tried to unite all of South America as Brazil. Could I do it without angering the entire world? Watch the video to see. Welcome back to the channel, everyone, or if you're new, welcome for the first time. Today we're going to be venturing to a place where nothing usually happens, South America, and we're going to be heading right into the rainforests of Brazil. Let's just hop right on into it, no dilly-dallying, Iron Man mode on, historical AI on, let's get going. Alright, welcome to Brazil. We've got only 8 divisions in this whole land, but we do have a lot of manpower, a decent industry to start off with, and here's our focus tree. Today we're going to be heading down the communist path. That's because I want to unite South America under our red banner, and hopefully that will not involve us being at war with the whole world, but we'll see. So let's get right on into it with the second Intentona Comunista. So currently in Brazil we're in a bit of a state of emergency. That's giving us communist support actually. We also have a very weak government, which really cripples us. Terrible economy. We're part of the Monroe Doctrine. We have separatist sentiments. And there's actually a naval arms race between us, Chile, and Argentina. Maybe one of our goals of this video can be to win this naval arms race. And here we go. We have the Cangaço Menace. They're trying to wreak some havoc here in our country. We'll deal with them in time, of course. I think we'll just ignore them for right now. Here's a big decision, and this is pretty much the same in any communist path in Hearts of Iron 4. You can join the Soviets, or we can go alone. Of course we're gonna go alone. Here's the real reason I don't really care about suppressing these guys too much, because we're gonna sway them to our own cause. We'll use these bandits up here for our own good. And there we go, we've swayed them, and I believe, yep, we no longer can do any of these decisions, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Now we just have to wait for a little bit of communist support, which should slowly be ticking up, and I guess we can start working on our terrible economy by doing the aftermath of the coffee crisis. Of course, we're going to keep industrializing. Let's do this focus. Maybe we'll go ahead and stimulate the economy a little, get some mills, all this stuff. Honestly, I think the South American DLC produced some pretty good focus trees. I've only played one game as Brazil, and this is a new path for me, so... And there we go, a few more civs. I believe we're now at, enough to launch the revolution, leading to, of course, a civil war. And here's the civil war. We actually get some spawn-ins. We have 15 units. We have Lampiao as a general, and we'll get Floriano as our field marshal. Alright, let's see what happens first. Are we going to complete this 70-day focus first, or are we going to win the conflict first? Nice, we got the side with 0 mills. Okay, well, there's the 70-day focus, and we've made, like, no progress. Well, we've made a little bit of a breakthrough in the jungles. It's not much, but it does cut these few Brazilian forces off. Well, I found some gaps in the line. I'm just snaking, and we've got them 94% towards capitulation. You can just take a few more victory points, and hopefully we'll be able to squeak together this victory. 99%, please. Okay, here's the race. This division needs a day and 21 hours. We're holding this division from getting into Sao Paulo. Who's gonna win? Let's see. And our division won, and finally we have defeated the Second Brazilian Republic, the evil Second Brazilian Republic. There we go. So we should be able to continue down, our political tree. I was hoping to get it done in under 70 days. Look at how far we've gotten down our industry tree. We'll do the Cangaço coup, and we get Lampiao, our general here, as the leader of our country. I believe Lampiao is literally like a bandit. I think he was part of this group, maybe. We're getting him in charge of the country somehow. And there we go. Coup completed. We are now Cangaço, Brazil. And there's Lampiao, the bandit revolutionary. You know what? For going through a civil war, our industry is actually looking pretty good right now. You know, people always ask me, where did you go to school? Oh yeah, I went to the People's University of Brazil. I love Brazil. As our industrial concern, we have the National Department of Coffee. I mean, they can't get any more Brazilian than that. What a beautiful focus. 35 days for minus 10% consumer goods, 10% factory output, and even a little smidge of communist support. Yeah, we love to see that. Alright, we don't even have nearly the amount of equipment to do this, but we're going to start training out some divisions because we're going to need some guys in the field at the very least. Let's finally get rid of our undiversified economy with this focus right here. Banco do Brasil. Alright, we're finally heading down this part of our tree, and eventually we're going to be getting some more goals here and actually doing some stuff. We can become an atheist state for a lot of research speed, or collaborate with the church and get a lot of political power and some stability. Yeah, you know what? We're going to collaborate with the church. Doesn't make any sense, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. Alright, and let's get our faction going, the Latin American Socialist Cooperative, just in time for World War II to finally begin. And there we go. this focus is done. We can actually establish the ULSAR right now, become known as the Union of Latin American Socialist Republics, and get cores on all of South America for a 35-day focus, which is ridiculous. But first, let's end South American capitalism, get a few cheeky war goals on democratic and non-aligned nations, which is pretty much all of South America. Now, unfortunately for Uruguay, they're not going to know what hit them. Alright, and just as Germany's declared on Denmark, our focus is done. Let's declare on Uruguay, and we can also establish the Union of Latin American Socialist Republics and get all these as cores. I love how just it takes 35 days for us to convince all of South America that they are us and we are them. And there goes Uruguay. Thank you for the guns, Uruguay. And the Navy, too. And the cowardly Argentinians did not get involved. They're scared of us, and yeah, look at that. They only have about 1 division per tile. Let's declare right on them. And there, naval invasion successful. And we have 3 divisions cut off here. This is going swimmingly. And we are now the Union of Latin American Socialist Republics. We can now try to oust the empires, get decisions to liberate the colonies. I'm guessing Guyana here, Suriname, and French Guiana. And yes, we're now a nice red color on the map. We have a new flag, which is, you know what, not looking the greatest. That is a pretty bad flag. And yeah, look at how many factories we're jumping up to. We're already at 86. I guess that helps that all of South America is becoming our core as we conquer it. We've overran the Argentinian armies. And there we go. Some more guns, some more artillery, and importantly, some more cores for us. Let's line up on the Chilean border. Now this one I'm concerned about because Chile is democratic. They could join the Allies very well. Somehow out of all of this, we've only generated 0.2% world tension, so that is a positive for us, I guess. Alright, let's do it. Chile, your time has come. Yep. Very quick capitulation of Chile. Thankfully they didn't join the Allies. Land, Navy, please. Move on. Well, I guess we win that naval arms race by default, right? I mean, they don't exist anymore, and we did steal their navy, so we win? Right, oust the empires is done. We now have South American anti-colonialism. We demand nations release their colonies here in the region. Nothing more to it than that. I guess we can bully the Netherlands first. Let's see if they want to give up Suriname. Alright, Bolivia is next up on the chopping block. Let's do this invasion that reminds me of the Pepsi logo for whatever reason. I think it's the colors. But before that, let's see what the Netherlands says to Suriname. And they have agreed to release them, so they are now independent. And they are a democratic nation, however, we are giving them communist support daily. Okay, goodbye Bolivia. There we go, Bolivia has gone already, that was very quick. There we go, France actually did release this bit of land here. We have the Republic of Cayenne. I wonder if the UK will give up British Guiana. Everyone say your goodbyes to Paraguay now. Alright, I think now is a pretty good time to just hold off for a bit, start building up an air force and all this stuff. Wow, the UK actually did agree to release the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. There are no more imperialists on continental South America. That is great. Our industry is absolutely insane. We're at pretty much 200 factories. Look at how many civs we have. Yeah, and I love how despite us eating a lot of South America already, we've still only generated 3% world tension. So hopefully that should be to our benefit when we have to go after 2 democratic nations in Colombia and Ecuador here. Alright, this focus is done. We can now get a direct border with Ecuador by going through Peru. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. Peru has joined the Axis. So there we go. Our first real challenge has come. This makes me worry that Colombia and Ecuador are going to join the Allies. The Soviets would like to send us 15 divisions. Yeah, you know what, guys? Go ahead. There we go. After a bloody fight, we have captured Lima, and they've capitulated. Alright, we'll line up our forces on the Ecuadorian border. You know, if I'm going to be honest, it is not the Axis I thought we'd be fighting first. I actually figured we'd be fighting the Allies, so this is a pretty good alternative, though. I mean, we'll see if we'll be fighting the Allies very shortly. The moment of truth, will Ecuador join the Allies? No, they've actually joined the Axis. That is perfect for us. That is actually terrific news. And there goes Ecuador. Alright, the moment of truth. Will it be Colombia, or will they join the Axis too? Let's see. Yes, they too have joined the Axis. What a great outcome for us. And there's Colombia. Alright, the last domino to fall, Venezuela. Let's just take them out. That was very quick. Venezuela's gone, and we've united all of South America, part of these three countries which we got as independent nations, but we don't have war goals on them. We could justify, but I feel like that will get us involved. My goal is to somehow get a land border with Germany, and we're going to retake our former colonial overlord in Portugal first, then move on into Spain and into France. I think that's the plan. Alright, I'm manually justifying on these three nations here. Our first one is complete already. Let's declare this war. Hopefully they just join the Axis, if anything. Yes, they have joined the Axis. Alright, that is good. Here's Suriname now. And look at this. We've gone through all of these South American anti-colonialism decisions. It's just Jamaica left. Literally, they've accepted every single one. Look at all the independent nations in this region now. While we're at it, let's get a new capital, Brasilia. We're going to centralize our country. Should probably go for a different name other than Brasilia. Probably something more South American instead of just Brazilian at this point, right? But yes, there we go. The USA has agreed to release Jamaica. Goodbye, Chetty Cumming. And look at that, we've got an achievement, Rumble in the Jungle, because we owned all Amazon states. Alright, I think it's time we start justifying on Portugal. Let's grab another core in Curacao. And hopefully with this, we're going to rename the Portuguese language to Brazilian. Let's declare war. Alright, and as Portugal perishes right here, we can start justifying on Spain. They really made this achievement that you have to control the Falkland Islands. Control all of South America. It's the only state we're missing, so I mean, maybe we will have to go for these Islas Malvinas at some point. I feel like this game has had a lot going on, but not a lot at the same time, if that even makes sense. Alright, let's do this. And Spain capitulated. Oh, look at this beautiful encirclement. This is what I play for right here. Watch this. I'm going to encircle all of these troops by cutting through Vichy. They're going to have no idea what hit them. There we go. What did I tell you? This is 95 divisions, 108 divisions in these two tiles. That is just ridiculous. That should definitely get our war participation up. And there they all go. And it's the Brazilians who first make it into Paris, of course. Mussolini is gone, and look at Italy. The United Mexican States controls this. I thought this was still Italy. And yep, a few days later, here's the Civil War, and we actually do get the puppet just because we have Piedmont here. We've broken through France. It's time to hit the magic button on the Germans. There we go, we're one tile away from Berlin. Right now, let's move in. And there we go, we've made it into Berlin. Germany, 79% towards capitulation. They're the only one left to surrender. Let's do a casualties check here before the war ends. We have 25% of the war effort. We've taken 500,000 casualties, 280,000 to the Germans. We've inflicted 1.6 million, 100,000 to the Spanish, and we've inflicted 420,000, 70,000 Italians, to 768,000. And there we go. Finally, the war is over. And the peace deal is done. We took all of our territories here in South America. As you can see, we also have all of Spain. For whatever reason, Spain is still here and not capitulated. It's strange. But yes, we do have all of Italy, all of southern France here. We have Austria, and we have a Germany. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. We do have the very industrial part of Germany as well. But yes, I don't think we're done just yet. I need the Falkland Islands. It's time to retake the last bit of core territory. Let's go for the Falkland Islands. And I'm also going to try to go for a full capitulation. I have my troops lined up on the French border, which we can then use as a staging ground to get into the UK, then hopefully head up north through Central America to Uncle Sam. Let's see how this goes. Justification done. Let's do this thing. United Kingdom, declare war, go. Let's launch our naval invasion. Let's call in our ally. Pierre Delay will be the new French leader. And there we go. There's the Falkland Islands, and there's the achievement. And I have all of our submarines cut into 16 different packs. These guys raiding the North Atlantic. These guys raiding the Cape Verde Plain between Africa and South America. And look at how many convoys we're raiding here. And yeah, France is almost now fully in our control. We are decimating the Allied Air Force here. And there goes France. Alright, Operation Sea Lion is underway. Let's see if we can make this landing. All of our air is up. Do they even have troops here? It doesn't even look like they have troops. Oh, here's some troops. Okay, I don't know where the British army is and why they're not in Dover, but they are seemingly elsewhere. Let's move our whole army in. Good timing, our justification on Panama is done. Let's declare this and start heading up into Central America. Oh, and here's another achievement. Because we occupied Nottingham, we've gotten the Merry Band achievement. And the UK's capitulated. Get rid of the last little bit of Allied resistance here. And I believe the only major left to capitulate, yes, is the United States. So let's head up north. We'll keep this land garrisoned. We'll keep moving north here. Our push is going so well that Stalin wants to send 21 divisions to help take out the filthy capitalists. Yes, we're already in Mexico, our air is doing wonders, and I got a collab going, which should be done in a couple months. So the Americans do have a landing in Japan, so we'll see if they hold on. I'm kind of curious to see what happens over here. Did we get lucky? Yes, we did. 45% compliance. Look at our push to the US. We've taken all of the Midwest here. I have a question for you guys in the comments. You can let me know. Is calling the USA the States a purely Canadian thing? Or do Americans just call it the States too? Or other countries? I was about to say, my game froze and I didn't think I capitulated the US just yet, but no, it is Japan who has capitulated. And unfortunately, American Japan is a major. That is very annoying. Because we have no real way of getting over there. Wow, okay. There we go, we got another achievement. Guessing it said Occupy Washington. There we go, the US is 99% towards capitulation. Any victory point should do it. And there they go, look at all the equipment they've given us. We do need to capitulate American Japan. I'm gonna see if I can get naval dominance through the Soviet Union and invade them through neutral territory. I don't know if that still works. We're gonna see.
No.
Alright, they must have patched the naval invasion through neutral territories. I just came up with an idea. Why don't I just disband my faction? Let's see if I can become a part of the Comintern.
No.
No, they would rather us not right now. Okay, that sucks. I just gotta wait for the Soviets to actually declare on the Allies, or the Allies to declare on the Soviets. Then I should be able to join their faction. So let's see, we're at June of 1945 right now. I'm gonna leave my game on and just go do other things and see if they're at war when I return. 45 minutes later. Alright, China is at war with the Soviets, which means if I justify on China, I should be allowed to join the Comintern. It is November 46. Alright, here we go. Justification complete. Let's just declare right away. Stalin, let us in. There we go. We're finally part of the Comintern. Alright, let's launch these invasions. This has actually been a pretty rough invasion, but hopefully with our beautiful modern tanks, that should put an end to this assault by Japan. Of course, the Soviets have to steal our glory right at the very end, and they've declared on the whole Allies too. Hopefully they shouldn't get like any war score from this. There's Tokyo in our hands finally. There's Yokohama. And there it is. Kagoshima has capitulated them, and we have 92% of the war score. Finally, this is over. And the peace deal is over. I have taken everything. Literally everything I could. Look at our nation now. Look at all this green. That was actually a lot of fun. It was a fun path. It was a fun game. We've conquered, like, the entire world. So I'm going to leave it off here, and I think this is a dang good place to leave off. If you've watched this far, please consider leaving a like or subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Be a part of the first 10,000 and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.